Hello dear friends and welcome to this video. Today we will talk about something that I really love and that is super healthy, and I'm of course talking about berries. And one of the reasons berries are so smart is that often we have sweet cravings. We want something sweet, especially after a nice, good dinner, You want that little bit of sweetness. At least a lot of us want. And then berries can be the perfect dessert. Of course, you can have it with whatever you like to have it with, because it is sweet, but at the same time, the glycemic index is not too bad. It doesn't spike your blood sugar like if you would eat many fruits or cakes or sweets. So berries is in a way genius. It's super healthy and can also be there for your sweet cravings as well. So berries are smart in so many ways. And of course, here I'm a little bit generalizing. Some berries are better than others. For example, blueberries are very famous for being very healthy. Goji berries, mulberries, acai, there are many, many healthy berries. But yeah, I will generalize a little bit, but if you want, you can go into the individual berries a little bit yourself. And berries, they are healthy for everybody. And now there is more and more science on the health benefits for the brain, that it can really have some cognitive positive impact for everybody, and especially as we age. For example, with memory. Berries have so much antioxidants in them, which are so important for us and for our health. So I would really highly recommend, of course, check with your doctor if there is anything, but to eat some berries every day. They are so delicious and they are so healthy as well. And some are a bit like, yeah, but they're frozen in my store. But actually, there is some evidence that the frozen berries are just as good as the fresh ones. So that is not necessarily negative. Today we have methods to freeze fruit and berries and other stuff in a very good way. So many of the nutrients will still be there. Of course, some will be a little bit affected, but in general, frozen berries are also super healthy and super convenient in everyday life. Like if you want like a muesli bowl or a smoothie or anything, you just take the frozen berries. Super, super easy. So frozen ones can also be a very good alternative. I'm very lucky to live in Norway, and especially here, end of summer, early fall, we have so nice fresh berries. But the rest of the year, of course, you can get some very watery berries from the Netherlands. No offense. I'm sure there are good stuff there too, but we don't get it. But in general, the frozen ones can be very easy and also actually very, very tasty. So this is important. Berries are also filled with fiber, and we know more and more also how important fiber is for these anti-inflammatory effects for the gut biome. It's so important also for your digestion, your health, your stomach, to fight against cancer. So this is also a very important part of the health benefits with berries, that they're also full of fiber. And then also makes your blood sugar not rise so fast, because all this fiber, it helps a little bit against the spiking insulin, which is wonderful as well if you're a diabetic, which I guess most of you who follow this this are. But of course not everybody, and this is healthy for everybody. Nobody wants a spike in their blood sugar. So this is also very, very important. And it also can be important for the heart with these antioxidants. Can lower blood pressure. Of course, here you need to be a bit careful. If you already have it a bit too low, you have to check all these things with your doctor, but most of us have normal to a little bit high cholesterol. So here it can be very, very important to fight against high cholesterol and also against inflammation in the body. There has also been done studies if you're a diabetic and berries, and it shows that your insulin sensitivity gets better, And in general, your fasting blood sugar will also improve if you have a daily intake of berries. I'm not sure exactly which one they did, but for example, we know that blueberries is a very good option, very, very healthy. Really this strong red, dark color. Here really some of those really good antioxidants are sitting. So this can always be a good sign if you're having to buy some vegetables or some berries or some fruit. For example, plums or blueberries have this color, then you know it's healthy. If it's not fake, of course, added something, but if it's more natural. And again, if you're diabetic, if you crave some sweet stuff, it's extra important that it's not spiking your blood sugar too much. And again, here berries can be very, very important. And it's full with vitamins, also some very important minerals, which we also know help against certain diseases like getting a cold, and also it fights against certain types of cancers. So in general, eating berries is something we should all, I guess, except if you have some medical condition, do more of. And also here in Norway, it's super cheap, like half a kilo. It costs very little, like €3 or $3. So for us also here, it's very, very convenient. I don't know how it is in other countries, but I hope also in other countries it's very, very convenient. So I highly recommend it, and there's many ways. You can have some sweetener. We can also make an episode on sweeteners here. It's quite interesting. Add a little bit of sweeteners to them, a little bit of milk. You can have some yogurt, just make a muesli or a little bit of not too sweet ice cream. I mean, there are many, many ways of eating berries, like in a nice desserty way. You can have a low carb chocolate cake or whatever, to your berries. Of course, not too much sugar, not too much sweet. Then of course it will spike your blood sugar and kind of ruin the purpose. But in general, if you really crave something and you don't like just a bowl of blueberries, you can add some things, but make sure it's healthy and doesn't have too much sugar or other stuff in it. So it can make a nice dessert. I normally make this kefir bowl with berries, with kefir, with some different nuts, chia seeds, and some cinnamon, and I really, really love it, and it's kind of my daily staple. We can also make an episode on this meal. I really highly recommend it. Super, super healthy and almost doesn't affect my blood sugar. So many, many possibilities. Have a wonderful day. Bye.